I saw this dumb-looking graph on Twitter. Can you look at it? This isn't a graph. What the f are you talking about? This one? White boy moves into the city from the suburbs. No, that's gentrification from the city to the from the suburbs to the city. Gentrification from the city to the suburbs. No, that's white flight. This is completely true. I'm gonna drop a hot take that people aren't gonna like, but you can, in my opinion, I think you should never accuse a person of gentrifying. Gentrification is a broad economic process that cannot be stopped by individual behaviors. It can be changed with policy to protect the original residents, but this bullshit like, oh man, dude, white hippies are going to come into my town and have like expensive bistros. Yeah? I don't care. Also, not gonna lie. Oh, okay. I'm gonna get the clip chimps out here today, dude. I have heard like anti-gentrification activists who, by the way, there's a good kind of anti-gentrification activist. All right, they talk about policy. There are things you can do to protect communities and the people who already live there. I'm not going to go into all that because it's a whole segment on its own, but there are plenty of good ways to fight against that, you know, good. But there are a lot of them who just, let's be real, don't like it when white boys with like, I don't know, unicycles move into their neighborhood. And then you look at their neighborhood and it's the ghetto, dude. What are you doing? Oh my God. Jesus Christ, you're preserving this? I know a lot of the residents here are like incapable of affording to live anywhere else and they want to continue living here. Then why don't you keep it to policy? Holy shit. Why are you getting mad at other people for moving in here and bringing money into the neighborhood? Like, oh, will the money in the neighborhood increase the price of shit here? Yeah, that was the only way any of this was going to happen. You guys do realize that a poor neighborhood can't increase the average quality of living and standard of living without bringing more money in there, right? And the only way, like the consequence of bringing more money in there will be gentrification unless the right civic policies are applied. So it seems like you're arguing against the fundamental process of neighborhood improvement outside of like, I don't know, civic investment, which like how often do cities actually do anything meaningful there? When neighborhoods improve, it tends to be because wealthier people come in. The real thing you want to, by the way, you guys want to know the ultimate cheat code for fighting against gentrification? Okay. Fight against cities and counties that have zoning laws that prevent different cost living units from being in the same neighborhood. Okay. The people who write zoning laws tend to be rich fucks and they don't want to live near poor people. So they write it so the suburbs can only have big, like 2,500 square foot single family homes that squat on the landscape like a fucking tumor with no apartment buildings and no like Section 8 housing or subsidized housing or whatever. All of that. Okay. All housing in all of the United States, with minimal exceptions, should have a zoning availability for wealthier and less wealthy people. And what that does is it allows the neighborhood to keep the older, poorer residents in their like zoning spaces, which are right next to all of the new accommodations that are being made for the wealthier people, which means you get to have the best of both worlds. Your poor family gets to stay in your neighborhood and like live it out and have a good time, but also you maybe get like some cool new like investments from people bringing money in. It's the best that you can do. There are other policies as well, but that's a big one. But man, trying to make it like, oh dude, you can't move over here, white boy, like super stupid, you know, super dumb. But all that money will eventually cycle back to the white people who move in there. Yeah, but that happens anyway. It's not like money stays in the ghetto. Like it's not as though money that makes its way into the ghetto without gentrification doesn't just immediately leave, as the money goes right back to the government or towards the landowners or towards the grocery store, you know, like that's just a problem with money cycling out of poor communities into wealthy ones. But that's a separate thing from gentrification. They tend to overlap, but like, yeah, that's just like an innate. We're mad at NIMBYs, but make a disclaimer that YIMBYs are bad too. No, they're not. YIMBYs are great, actually. That wasn't the chart. This was the chart. Oh, the chart you showed me was from somebody who blocked me. I didn't see it. Okay, what's the actual thing then? No, this is retarded. Okay, that's my answer. Vancouver has a shit ton of apartment buildings with poor doors. They don't interact. They don't welcome in the poor residents. Just look like downtown. Yeah, I'm not advocating for poor door. Okay, just to be clear, all right? The thing that I'm talking about is not something that works when it's being pushed for and legislated on by wealthy people who hate you, okay? A pour door is like if a city has a thing where it's like, okay, if you're going to build a big apartment complex, 50% of your units have to be like low income accessible. And then what they do is they're like, okay, sure, we're literally just going to separate it, literally going to like separate but equal this shit, except it's not equal. Rich people get the main lobby with the big rotary door, and like poor people can enter in an alleyway, and there's like a little door they have to physically open with a key that they get with their apartment. Um, and there's no lobby, and then you just go up. This is like common in places that have these kind of requirements. And the reason that this happens is because wealthy people are subhuman. Obviously, if one apartment building has a requirement for 50% of its units to be low income, they all go in through the lobby. And those poor rich people are just going to have to suffer the indignity of sharing a carpet with a bunch of people who don't make as much money as them. I hope it would be obvious that I wouldn't advocate for anything else. That's so... It's pretty common. How do you enforce that? Rock.